It was about 3 weeks ago. I honestly had no idea who the hell Matt Fraser was. I did not know. He is the world's foremost psychic.
First of all, this was a tragedy in how your son had died here in the physical world, because he's bringing that through.
Yes.
And what's so tough is he keeps saying to me, Matt, there was no way that anybody could have saved me. Hold on, I'm just listening to him. Was your son like crushed here in this world?
Yes. He was hit by a car.
Because I said to him, what happened to you? He said, I was crushed. He says, that's why I don't remember anything.
So he pauses and he's talking to the son there, allegedly. I just thought, I just think if you're taking somebody's money and you're claiming, because I don't believe it to be true, but I might be wrong. You're taking somebody's money and you're claiming that you're talking to them. I just think that's horrible. I really, really do. But again, this guy is huge. He's had his own, several TV shows down in the States. He's been on, all of the big TV shows, like the afternoon ones. I'm not talking about late night shows, but he's on all of the afternoon shows, like The View or different shows like that. And he's, done celebrity readings.
Please know that when I'm connecting with him, he tells me one thing. The day that your husband had fell, I believe it was a fall that had killed him here in the physical world.
Oh my God.
Because I keep feeling this pain right in through here. And he said to me, Matt, even if I were to recover from this, he tells me there was no way that he was going to be able to talk.
So maybe he's not torturing people with bad news and he's putting their hopes at rest, or you tell somebody, well, he just wants you to know that everything's all right now. But when I had him on, I was like, well, what do you say to people who don't believe this? The stats say that, a certain percentage of people don't believe this. He was like, where did you get that from? Are you Googling? And I'm like, well, yeah, I Googled it. I don't know all of the stats. The National Academy of Sciences.
Where are you getting these stats from?
I'm getting them from the, what do you mean? You know that there's a lot of people.
Are you Googling them right now?
You know that, well, I did some research and I wanted to see how many people.
There's no way. You're definitely Googling them right now as you're on the phone with me.
Well, I did the research before the interview. I knew you were coming on. Well, why? That's my favorite part of it. There's no way you did research. Wait a second. Well, how do you know that I don't do research? I do research. I'm very good at making it sound like I haven't done any research. But that was my favorite thing. Where did you get that? Well, I Googled it. Because where did you get those stats? I don't know all of the stats. We're joined right now by the man known as, on YouTube, PigCake. He is a magician, but he also enjoys debunking magicians. So we're calling the segment Ask a Magician Tutorial Person Anything. Do I call you PigCake, or what do I call you?
It's a great name. Unfortunately, it's better than my real name. I prefer that one. But anything's better than Matt Fraser. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Do we have to say, does he ever sue anybody? Do we have to say allegedly? Do we have to do any?
It's iffy. It's iffy because I don't imagine any court of law ever seriously taking any, claims against his psychic abilities seriously. And I don't have any qualms saying that the guy's a fraud.
Okay, I'm going to say allegedly, because I'm a coward is basically what I am. Okay, so how do you debunk him? Because I'm surprised that more people aren't. I'm actually more surprised at the people who give him a platform, to be honest with you. And that includes me, I guess, but I came from it. I came from, at least I thought from an angle that I would challenge him instead of giving him free reign. But how does he do what he does?
Well, unfortunately, these characters, they prey on grief. That's kind of their modus. They like to prey on the unfortunate grief of others, and they take advantage of that and pretend, essentially doing terrible magic tricks. They get away with it. They get away with it, and they make a lot of money, and I get very, very jealous.
So would a tell be that he wouldn't do one for me over the radio?
100%. 100%. That's one of the things I've noticed specifically about him, that if you notice all the content he puts out, it's through him. He controls it. He goes on these talk shows and it's very methodical. The man has a team, as do all of them. And, impromptu readings he's one of the actual smart ones, believe it or not, if you can believe that. The rest, you might see someone like Teresa Caputo. I don't know if you're familiar with her, the Long Island psychic.
Yep.
Tyler Henry, he's another up and coming young psychic. Of course, everybody knows John Edwards. My goodness. They're a little bit more sloppy in the work, where I think Matt is really methodical when it comes to the way he does things.
So when Matt would claim we haven't met before and all that kind of stuff, is that true?
I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say that it's an art form, what he does, but it is. It's a form of magic. Unfortunately, I call myself a professional magician, or a professional virgin, rather, because I kind of see this, and I see the magic methods in his work. And it's kind of pathetic that he doesn't admit that he's a liar and a fraud like I gladly do. And he's taken advantage of, people that want to talk to their loved ones.
Yeah, that's what I find horrible. I mean, if you want to trick me because you sawed a lady in half, I don't care. But if somebody's giving you money because you say I can talk to your deceased relative, I think that that's really awful.
Yeah, 100%. I'm getting emails all the time from people based on the videos that I've made on YouTube alone, saying, hey, I went to his show, and they tell me about the process, and it's the same process. It's the same story since the 60s, 70s, 80s, and
so
now
what
it's
is the process?
Updated.
If I go to the show and I'm picked, what is the process?
Well, from the very beginning, you're having to register online, right? And I find it interesting that I looked up his in particular. You have to give up your address, an email, and we have everything tied to everything now. You can't hide anything, as much as I would like to hide some pictures. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. So it's very easy now to look up any information, and that's the hot reading aspect. That's a little jargon term, but where you have information that you're getting from people that's legitimate and good. The opposite of that is cold reading, where you go into a room cold, as the name implies, and you try to just riff it. You try to just jazz it up and try to get what information you can. And honestly, half the battle is already done for you, because these people are going in there mostly believing.
Yeah. So you know that, hey, you want me to contact somebody, and they know that I'm seeing a man. No, it's not a man, it's a woman.
Exactly, and that's a sloppy way of doing it. From my understanding, with the original John Edwards shows, you would have to fill out a really detailed questionnaire as to who do you want to contact. What happened to them? Is there anything you want to ask them? And all these things are being filtered and culled by a team, and eventually presented for someone like a Matt Fraser to present to an audience as if it's coming to him on the spot. It's really disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting. So is there a way you could show us how you would fake your way through it? Like you be Matt Fraser and I be me? Or is that too... No.
That's my nightmare. You just
sorry about that.
You gave me no. It really depends on the context, and you notice that when it comes to Matt Fraser, as I said earlier, that he's really methodical. And I've noticed someone like, for example, Teresa Caputo. I saw her a video of her on I believe some CNN show, and they asked her to do that very thing, to give an impromptu reading. And you see her moving through an audience, and she's just sloppy, doing very standard things. I see someone here that died on my chest. I feel something in my chest. My chest feels like it's being compressed. Did anyone here have a loved one die of, I can't breathe, of a heart attack? And it's just these very open-ended.
So of course somebody's had a relative die of a heart attack, right?
Yeah. So that's the worst of it. The best of it is when you already have pre-existing information on the person, and all you're doing is filling in the blanks. So you already have the information of the name, you have the information of how they potentially passed away, and all you're doing is essentially filling in this communication that they're giving you, oh, hey,
because anybody
really
who goes
happy.
to those shows are filling out a bit of a questionnaire, and because somebody wants it to believe, or they want to talk to their mom because they didn't say sorry for something. So you'll fill out these things, and they probably make it seem like, oh, well, we wanted to know who would be the best person that we could do with the limited time that we have, and so and there they go.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you're going against memories that these people are manufacturing, new memories that they're manufacturing with, their deceased loved ones. And it's really a shame because, imagine your last memory could have been a happy one with this particular person, and now it's tarnished forever by a dude in a tacky gold suit telling you that, no, she says she's really proud of you, and she wants to tell you that she's been watching you. Ugh.
Wrong number.
Yeah.
All right. So you do a lot of different breakdowns on your YouTube channel, which is PigCake. Again, a magician who I'm guessing other magicians are not a fan of because you disclose all the secrets.
Yes, somewhat. You'd be. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised, but every time you go to one of these conventions, which unfortunately we have, a lot of magicians really sour on the idea of teaching. They call it exposure.
Yeah.
For me, exposure is having one of those trench coats. A
misdemeanor. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crime.
Thank you, PigCake. Thank you very much. It's the first time we've ever had somebody with pig and cake in their name, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Of course.
I see you again. When 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 I see you again.